Alright, let's look at making threat rings on our 2D map in Falcon BMS. Okay, so the threat rings indicate the threat radius and SAM type inside of your data link or HSD or your situational display on your MPCD in the F15. This is super helpful for evading or identifying different SAM types so that you don't get launched on, or knowing if you're inside the threat radius of a certain SAM site, and good for just avoiding SAM sites altogether. And this is extremely helpful for making sure that you don't get caught inside of a SAM site, or else you can get shot down really easily, especially against SA-15s. So to create a threat ring, we need to identify what the SAM is, because different SAMs have different threat radii. And so yeah, so we're gonna hit recon. We're gonna find, first of all, let me show you the map. If I right click here and I go to installations, the only ones I have selected are airfields and air defenses. All the other ones are disabled. For ground units, I have battalions, combat, and air defenses selected. All the other ones are disabled. And finally, if you go down to here, show threat circles, this is not helpful. This will not help you in any way. This will not appear on your HSD and does you no good. So what you want to do is you actually want to manually go in and find the different SAMs and create the threat circles yourself. It's a manual process, it's tedious, but it pays off really well, extremely helpful. So what you're gonna wanna do is find one of these boxes or rectangles. Let's do this red rectangle right over here. And to find out what the SAM site is, we're gonna hit right click and go to recon. Then next to this red circle, we're gonna hit this plus sign to drop down the info. And we see a bunch of SA2s over here. So SA2s and SA14s. SA14s are manpads. We don't care about those. The SA2s are the greatest threat in this area. So now that we've identified the kind of SAM, which is an SA2, we're going to X out. We're going to find the box that we were just looking at. And just next to it, we're going to hit right click. And at the bottom, we're going to hit set pre-planned threat steer point. We're going to right click on that green diamond. That was what we just created. We're going to right click on that green diamond, hit status. On the top left, we see SA2. This is not automatic. We have to manually select what we want. This could be an SA10, this could be an SA12, but in this scenario, we just recon this area and it showed SA2. So we're going to select SA2 and hit accept. Now you see PPT 56 and it's showing this is an SA2. And now we're going to drag this steer point, or this point right here, on top of this box. And we can X out of that. And you can see a red ring. Now, when we load our data cartridge, this red ring, well, it's not going to be red in the aircraft, but this ring and the name of the SAM will be in your HSD. So if you're flying your route and you don't want to get into the threat zone of the SAM site, you can fly around and you can just basically avoid this area completely. Now, unfortunately, some SAM sites are going to overlap. Like if I go over here and I hit, oh, see more SA2s. So I'm going to find this, right click, set pre-planned steer point or target point, whatever. Status, we know it's an SA2 and SA2 is already there. So we're going to hit accept. We're going to drag it on top of this and we are good to go. And now you can see that these two circles overlap. Kind of looks like a Venn diagram. So if you fly in this area, you're going to be detected by this guy and can be potentially launched by both of these, either one at a time or both at a time. But basically, you just want to avoid getting into these zones. But just keep an eye out when you're flying. Now, when you look at the map, there are two different kinds of rectangles. The first kind of rectangle here is a red rectangle with like a little black line. It's kind of like a bow shape. It kind of arcs. This is going to be like one of your long range SAMs. So if I hit recon and I go here, see SA2s, right? And another example is one up here. I think this one might be an SA3 up here. Yeah, SA3. I only knew that because I memorized where these are. So this is an SA3. But still the same kind of like icon. Here's an SA2 again. More SA2s right here. So if I wanted to mark this SAM on a map, mark it as an SA2, I'd hit pre-planned steer point and then create that steer point just like I did with these two. Now, the second kind of indication is a red rectangle with an X through it. If you see a little X, you're going to be seeing short range SAMs. So probably man pads or the scary one, SA-15. And those ones, if I recon, they will not appear on the list of different targets here. You see SA-14 and SA-14 again. Sometimes you'll see SA-16s, but anyway, if you see this little X here, you're not going to see those long range SAMs. This is like short range SAMs. Now, whenever you see this, it's probably best to go to set pre-planned steer point, right click, status, and just set this to SA-15. SA-15s are short range, super deadly, super scary. Nope, I messed up. Super scary SAM sites, and you want to avoid them at all costs. So it's important that whenever you see these red rectangles with an X through it, just like here, set this to SA-15. You don't even need to recon it. Don't even recon it. Oh crap, I keep messing that up. By the way, what I'm messing up here is if I'm zoomed in all the way and then I zoom out, it disappears. So zoom out one level from max zoom, then create it so that it doesn't disappear on you. SA-15, accept, and then drag it on top. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be close enough. And there you go. Now you can see the threat radius is much smaller. That's because it's a short range SAM, so you need to be much closer to it in order to be within its kill zone. And this SAM has a lot more range, so you don't have to be as close and you can still be shot at. This is its threat radius. As long as you're inside this circle, you are within weapons parameters for the SAM site. You have even longer range SAMs. It could be this one, I believe, is SA-5s. No, SA-2. Okay. Where is the SA-5? Maybe this one. Yeah, SA-5s. SA-5s are far more range. SA-5s have a lot more range than SA-2. So, just to kind of show you, I'm going to hit pre-plan, status, set this to SA-5. Again, it's not automatic. You have to do it yourself. Drag it on top. And you don't have to hit accept again, you just X. And there you can see this threat radius is much larger than the SA-2s. So this SAM covers a lot more area than the SA-2s, and the SA-2s carry a lot more area than the SA-15. So when you're flying your route and you see SA-15 and this threat radius on your map, avoid it. Do not go in here, because when they shoot at you, you're already too close and you don't have hardly enough time to evade or, you know, do anything to defeat the missile. Once it's shot at you, you're out of time, and it's highly unlikely, unless all the stars align perfectly, it's highly unlikely you survive. So it's better just to avoid entering SA-5 sites as much as you can, as best as possible. Now, when it comes to preparing for the mission, unfortunately, these threat circles are not going to be just automatic, like, okay, you hit a button and then it's all done. No, you actually have to go in yourself, right click, recon, hit this thing, see what's there. See here, there's an SA-16. Now, you might notice, I don't know what I clicked on, maybe this one. Let's just look at this one, for example. If I want to say, okay, I saw SA-16 and SA-14 in there, I hit status, and I'm like, okay, well, where is it? I don't see an SA-16. I don't see SA-14. I don't see SA-7. So where do I select those? Well, if I remember correctly, SA-7s, 14s, and 16s are all man pads. So you can just select man pad and hit accept, and then drag it on top of this little thing here. So that's good enough. Now, let's say, like, for example, we looked over here and I put an SA-15, but if I recon, oops, ooh, I messed up. Hold on, just a second. I recon this area. I don't see any SA-15s here. There's no SA-15. I see SA-14 and SA-14, but I don't see SA-15. So why did I put an SA-15 here? Well, it just happens, and I don't know why. This isn't confirmed, but this is just through my experience. SA-15s do not appear when you recon an area. They just will not be listed. If I select this, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe they're listed under here. No. There are no SA-15s listed at all. So I have flown in an area where there wasn't any SA-15s listed, and I flew to a specific area, and I got shot down by an SA-15, even though it wasn't listed here. So, just as a precautionary, what I've done is I've gone through every single one of these rectangle X's, reconned them, and I found no SA-15s. So what I've done is I just go to every single red rectangle with an X, and I just don't even recon it. Just assume there's an SA-15 there. Just assume. The short range tank mounted or APC mounted SAMs, they are super dangerous, super deadly, and again, you can't be zoomed in all the way when you do it. You have to zoom out a little bit. SA-15, accept, and good. Now, let's say there really isn't an SA-15. Let's say I put an SA-15 threat circle here, but there is no SA-15. Let's say it's just manpads. Well, manpads have a smaller threat radius than an SA-15. So even if you're staying outside the threat radius of an SA-15, you are well within the, well outside of the range of the manpad. So it's like you're being extra safe. It's just precautionary, being extra safe, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially when it comes to not knowing whether a certain target or SAM is there or not. So it is safe to assume that every single instance where there's a red box with a X going through it, just put an SA-15 there, just a precautionary. When I was flying a mission, and I was just flying a mission, I did not have any threat circles up, and I would just get completely destroyed by these SA-15s. It was incredibly frustrating, and I didn't have enough time to react. I got launched on, I tried defending, and I just died. So after I went in and I created all these different threat circles and created a bunch of SA-15s everywhere where there's an X through a red box, I weaved and flew past them but not through them, and I never died. I was never shot down by a single SA-15, and I had a successful mission. So just go in, make these all SA-15s. You can't go wrong with that. Yeah. And where you can recon areas where there is no X, if there's like a little bow, just like this one. This is one you want to recon. Find out what's over there. Okay, SA2, then create a threat circle where there's an SA2. And yeah, that's just about it. Once you're done creating all of these, I recommend making as many as possible. When you're done creating all these different threat circles, load the data cartridge, and then you're going to be set from that. It's all going to be into your aircraft. You're going to have this all in your navigation, so you're going to be good to go. Anyway, thank you. I'll see you all later.